Where's Jamie? There she is. Savannah. Savannah? Savannah DiMuccio. Come on. Where is she? She's not here. Okay. Could you kill those lights for a second so I can see the audience? Okay. How many of you have registered in the marketplace? Stand up if you're registered. Come on. How many are going to register in the marketplace? Wait a minute. I want you to stand up if you're registering in the marketplace. I don't believe this. This is the most phenomenal opportunity that we offer. All right. I'm going to talk to the streamers and say hello to Tiffany Dozier and Orlando, Florida. Hi, Tiffany. And to Bren Siebold in Germany. Greetings. For Ruth Deutsch in La Crescenta, California. I guess I got that right. It's in California anyway. All right. Bakulia Bayanti from the United Kingdom. Greetings. Welcome. Now, the results just happened. Let's think about it. Let's take a close look at your results and how they happen. Now, I want you to think of the results you're getting and how they happen. You're dealing with awareness. When you're dealing with awareness, you're dealing with many levels of awareness. You're dealing with levels of consciousness all the time. You're going to find people with fairly high level of conscious awareness, others with a very low level of conscious awareness. Now think of this for a moment. A person that's at an A level can help the person that's at a B level, but the B cannot help the A. What role does awareness play in results? Think about it. Here's a baby. The baby lacks awareness. The baby is not aware of the dangers of fire. I spent a number of years on a fire department in Canada. A lot of babies that die in fires, they don't die from fire, they get asphyxiated. They will find them hiding in stairwells or under beds. The baby gets scared and hides because they're not aware of the danger of fire. Now think. First call I went on, very first call in the fire department, there was the third floor of a house on Dawes Road that was burning. It was around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. There was an off-duty cop who was going down, driving down the street, I guess, and he saw flames coming out of a window in a fairly old house. He got a hold of the fire department and 911, and anyway, he went in and got everybody up, and they got everybody out of the house. So nobody was hurt. But was investigated to find out what happened. There was a woman, a single mother that had a little boy that had the third floor of the house rented. There was a bedroom and a kitchen and a big cupboard that you put stuff in. And the little boy woke up early in the morning and got out of bed, and I guess the mother didn't care. I mean, she was sleeping. He's not going to hurt anything. Well, he got into the kitchen. He got into this big walk-in closet or cupboard, and he had a big box of matches, and he got playing with them, and he set them off, and he got scared, so he just threw them down on the floor and went and got back into bed. Needless to say, the fire was underway. Now, if it hadn't been for that cop, they probably would have all lost their lives. The baby was not aware. We don't give awareness a lot of space in our life. Developing awareness has taken a back seat to developing the intellect. I want you to think of that for a moment. People leave, they're not very aware of themselves. They are not very aware of themselves. We spend more time developing our intellect, paying homage to the intellect. The degree is most important, or it has been up to this point. It's not that much anymore. They don't care so much what you know today, it's what can you do. See, for years, it was what you know. If you didn't have the degree, you couldn't get the job. If you had the degree, you'd get the job. I remember doing a big job with the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. And they had what they called an MBA program, where they were bringing people fresh out of university with an MBA, and they were training them as managers in companies. It was a colossal failure. They lost millions of dollars on it. Just because the person had the MBA, that didn't mean that they were going to be able to be successful in the business. And most of them weren't. There was the odd one that was, but they were in the minority. We give so much value to the development of the intellect. That's what our school system's all about. But it's not to awareness. A person can have a very highly evolved intellect. They could have a doctorate in commerce and finance and not know the first thing about earning money. They know how to store it, they know how to invest it, but they don't know how to earn it. School doesn't teach us that. They don't develop the awareness of it. Now, as we start to understand this, everything in our life starts to change. So here we've got the A that can help the B, but the B is not able to help the A. Now, a number of B's don't want to get help from the A. And a number of A's don't want to help the B. This is where it's all at. A is aware of how B got the results because they've been there. They've moved through that, so there's an awareness. B isn't aware of how A's getting their results, but for some strange reason, an insecurity will prevent them from going and asking. Now, do you see, when I talked about making up my mind, I was going to get to know Bill Gove, and I was going to have him teach me. It was an awareness that I had developed that enabled me to do that. I became aware that Bill didn't have anything going for him, I didn't have going for me. It's just that he learned to do something I hadn't learned to do that I wanted to learn to do, so I was going to get him to teach me. And that's really what we have to do. This is where it's really at. Why do so many people, so many bees, get stuck and stay stuck? There's a very good reason why. It's all paradigms. It's a lack of awareness. Right? So we take a look at results, and you have to ask, what causes the results? Well, our action causes our results. But that's a secondary cause. It's like the law of attraction is a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration. What's causing that action? And we have to take a look at it. The body moves into action and produces a result. But we're going to see it's the idea in the subconscious mind that's causing the action. Because the idea in the subconscious mind causes a vibration which expresses itself in action. Now, the conscious mind is the entrance to the subconscious. Nothing gets to the subconscious without going through the conscious. It's absolutely essential. The conscious mind is the gatekeeper. And if you leave your conscious mind open, which we said happens when a person's inductive reasoning factors shut down, then your subconscious mind is wide open. Whatever goes in there is causing the results. So you have to ask, why would anyone choose ideas that produce results they don't want? Why would they do that? The person's not thinking. That's the cause of the problem. They're not thinking. It's rather sad, but that's the way it operates. See? So let's take a look here. Now, this is over on I think we're on page 48 here. This is an important point. There you have the senses. and you've got a power flowing into your consciousness. Now, this is any time, anywhere, the power is flowing into the conscious mind. And you will build an image of the good that you desire. That image is impressed upon the paradigm. But the paradigm controls the behavior. So here we are here. The image fixed in your subconscious mind controls your vibration. Your vibration controls what you attract. So your results aren't what you've imaged. The person says, well, I'm doing, like Sandy teaches a thing in visualization, I'm doing exactly what she taught me. I'm doing it. But the results aren't there. What's the problem? Well, the problem's over here. The paradigm must be altered before your new image can move into form. See, you can get involved in the imaging, you can get involved in the great writing out of the goal, you can have it all down in beautifully written words, so it really does communicate to another person what your goal is. But if your paradigm's in the road, you're never going to see that goal manifest. Because what's manifesting in your life is what you're emotionally involved with, and the person's paradigm is controlling them. You see, I know there's people here that wanted to be involved in that marketplace that we talk about. But they didn't get involved because the paradigm is stopping you. Logic is killing it. Logic is stopping you. This doesn't make sense. We're talking about it. We're in a seminar discussing it, explaining it in pretty clear detail, and yet we still let it control us. Why would we do that? That's how strong the paradigm is. It's extremely powerful. And what we have to do is learn to override it. Now, this is happening to people every day. We have people come to seminars, they buy programs, they buy books, but they're not overriding the paradigm. You've got to override that paradigm, and it causes discomfort. When you impress an idea upon the paradigm doesn't want to back up. Now, you've got a negative, let's say a paradigm, and a positive idea you're impressing, that tosses you into an XY vibration. That's discomfort. That is not a comfortable vibration to be in. To stay in the vibration of the paradigm is comfortable. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't give you what you want, but it doesn't hurt. Why do you think a woman would stay with a man that's bouncing her off the walls and abusing her physically and mentally? Why would she stay there? Because it's more comfortable to stay there than it is to leave. You say, well, I don't believe that. You don't have to. Go do your research and you'll find that that's exactly why. We do the thing we fear the least. If we're going to move in the direction we want to move, we've got to get this straight in our head. We've got to understand that that paradigm is in our subjective mind. And if our goal is not in harmony with our paradigm, you are never going to see it if you're not prepared to go through what you have to go through to override the paradigm. It'll try and stop you. It'll put up a very logical argument. And the argument that it's putting up, you're also hearing from your relatives and your neighbors, or the people you're working with. You quitting this job? Are you crazy? Got another 15 years and you'll get a pension. Wouldn't be able to live on it, of course, but that's the story. This is all practical stuff. This is logical stuff. If you don't learn to override the paradigm, you are disqualifying yourself from greater good than you've already got. Make no mistake about it, that's the way it's working. This isn't just my idea. Ricky, how long did you play with that idea before you acted on it? It took about 2.5 years. 2.5 years. She had a phenomenal idea. Now, she's executed it, and it's even better than you thought, isn't it? It's a lot better than you thought it would be. 2.5 years. Didn't make any sense, did it?
No, I was trying to make it happen, but it felt like things weren't.
The paradigm was in control. You didn't step up to bat. You tried to make it happen. You don't try and make anything. Try and stand up. Try and stand up. You can't try and stand up. You're either going to stand up or you're not going to stand up. This is try stuff. I'm trying. Oh, really? 2.5 years. I used to talk to them about this. The Puppy Academy. It's the most successful damn thing I've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. And you earn all kinds of money at it. A lot more than you are earning. What was the most you ever earned as a bartender? You did pretty good. You were at it quite a while, too. But you can never earn the money at a bartender you can earn at this. You can't even come close. No. And for 2.5 years, you were playing around with it. And of course, Marco, he's saying, yeah, maybe we should, you know. And then he starts doing something. He's earning more damn money than he ever dreamed of earning. You two guys are doing all right. Yeah. Of course, you say, why would you let the paradigm control you? Well, why wouldn't I? I've been doing it since I was a baby. What the hell? That's the way it works. Does it make sense? Making sense in there? It's sort of stupid, isn't it? Well, we're all sort of stupid at times. You see, you can have the way presented. That doesn't mean you're going to do it. I talked to you about that marketplace. Now, maybe some of you are going to get involved that haven't decided yet, but I'm sure everybody didn't get involved in that. It is such an enormous concept. There's so much help. There's so much opportunity of doing things with people from all over the world. Why wouldn't we? Well, that's why we wouldn't right there. See, the paradigm is so strong. Now, what can we do? Well, we can say, I don't think I'll live that way anymore. I'm going to quit letting the outside control the inside. What has it given me up to this point? Well, not bad, but nothing great. You know, let's look here. Here's the same scenario. Here's the mind, the senses, powers flowing into the consciousness. We build the image of the good that we desire. Then we understand that we must get emotionally involved with that image. The image has to be emotionally planted. The image cannot be emotionally planted if the paradigm is controlling your emotions. It just won't work. You've got to let yourself get emotionally involved in this. You've got to trust somebody. That's what Ray said to me. He said, just trust me. Do exactly what I'm telling you. I want you to read this every day. Then do exactly what I'm telling you. You can have anything you want. Now look, I was earning $4,000 a year at the time. I owed $6,000. I never thought I'd ever get out of debt because I'd had to take every cent I earned for 18 months and pay tax. There was no way. He said, forget about that. That's why you can't win. You just listen to me. Do exactly what I tell you. And for some unknown reason, I believe we're guided. I did exactly what he said. It wasn't easy. I had a lot of people tell me I was crazy, but I did it. I get emotionally involved with the idea. You know what that did? That caused me to move into action and produce different results. Now let's look here for a moment. The image you impress upon your subconscious mind controls your vibration, and your vibration controls what you attract. It's all here, but if you're not in vibration, if you're not in harmony with it, you are never going to get it. And yet it's all here. It's right here, but we've got to get in harmony with it. Now, let's back this up. Sandy's going to come out and she's going to do something on goals here. But there's something we've got to get straight. I could talk about paradigms until hell freezes over. I can only change mine. I cannot do this for my own children. I can't do this for somebody I love dearly. You can only do it for you. No one can do it for you. Now, there's no little kids in this room. Well, there's a little baby. I saw a little baby. That little baby's getting all kinds of stuff. You know? But look at it. Oh, really? There's she. Oh, wow. Mine's wide open. That's phenomenal. Right? Now, listen. I don't think you were looking for something to do, so you ended up here. Some of you came great distance. You came a long way, and at considerable expense. And you can be sitting there saying, well, he's just trying to sell us the marketplace. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh, no. That's exactly what I'm doing. But here's what you got to understand. Selling isn't something you're doing to people. Selling is something you're doing for them. If you don't buy this, we can't help you with this. If you do, we can help you with it. And the help here goes way beyond what I was saying. I didn't have the time to get into everything. I don't even know how to get into everything. But I do know this. You get in this marketplace and you wander around there every day for the next 3 or 4 or 5 months, and you're going to become very familiar with all the people that we deal with in all the different countries. You're going to become aware of opportunities that you never even dreamed of, because you're going to mix with other people who are doing the same thing you're doing. And you see, they want to win. They'll find out maybe you want to win. They'll find a way of helping you, and you're going to find a way of helping them. And that's how we win. We get together and work together. That's how our company works. That's how the people in the company are working. We work together. We got a strong team. You can end up with a very strong team. But if you're not in it, you can't do it. Now, some of you are saying, well, I don't know if I can afford it. I want you to stop and think of your home. I want you to think of all the stuff you got in your house. There's all kinds of stuff there that you don't need. You know why you got it? Because you want it. Yet when you want something, you always find what it takes to get it. Not sometimes, always. When you really want something. If you really want to win, you got to learn to overcome that paradigm. And if you don't, you're not going to do it any better than you're doing it. That's got nothing to do with being smart. Absolutely nothing to do with being smart. It has to do with making wise decisions based upon the understanding of credible information. Ask yourself, why would I lie to you? I'm not going to lie to you. Why would I tell you something that isn't true? That'd be a damn good way to put myself out of business. I've been in this too long to play that game. Now really think. Sandy's going to go into goals, but your goal isn't worth diddly if you can't make decisions to overcome that paradigm. You're going to have to overcome it. It's not the easiest thing to do. It does throw you into a chaotic vibration. It causes fear. And you'll do the thing you fear the least. That's just the way we're geared. When you came here, at expense, at time, the money you can always get back. The time you'll never get back. The time you've spent here is gone. You cannot get it refunded, ever. And I'm telling you exactly the way it is. This isn't any hype. This isn't any fill. This is the real deal. It's not something I'm guessing at. It's something I've lived for half a century. And believe me, I've seen the ups and downs. It hasn't been a walk in the park. I know what it is to overcome that paradigm and get emotionally involved with what you want. Because I'm going to tell you, damn near everything and everyone is screaming at you, don't do it. If you let the paradigm, or if you let other people that have never demonstrated by results they know what they're doing, if you're going to follow them, you're on the wrong track. You see, I learned something so powerful from Ray Stanford. What Ray was teaching me, he had already done. He had proved. So here's a guy telling me he was happy, healthy, and wealthy. I was unhappy, sick, and broke. He said, Bob, he said, my way's working, yours is not. He's quit talking about why you can't. In fact, you didn't go to school, too bad. In fact, you don't have any experience, too bad. That's in the past, let it go. None of that's got anything to do with what I'm talking about. Just do exactly what I'm telling you. Now, I had made a decision to follow the advice of somebody who had demonstrated by results he really knew what he was doing. Now, I didn't really understand that I did that at the time, but that's what I did, and it got me onto a right track. And so all my other mentors, that was the criteria. They had to have done what they were going to teach me to do. If they hadn't done it, they didn't qualify. It was almost an unconscious thing that I had been working. Earl Nightingale retired at 35. Millionaire. Then he went back to work. He couldn't find anybody to play with. I guess, I don't know. Okay. Lloyd Conant had built a great successful business. Dr. Harry Roger knew more about the mind than anybody I'd met. Del Vanderbilt. Bill Gold. All of these people. I don't care what your degree is. I don't care what your position is or where you are. If you haven't done it and you're telling me to do it, I probably won't pay much attention to you. If you have done it, then I'm going to take a real close look. And that's what we want to do. We want to go to people that know what they're talking about. We know how to make connections. We've got them from all over the world, and they're good connections. We know how to attract really brilliant individuals, and we have attracted them. And they're all in this marketplace. They're all connected to PGI Institute. There's phenomenal opportunity here for everyone. Don't let it go. Don't spend 5 seconds thinking of why you can't. Only spend time thinking of how you will. If that is the way you start thinking, I guarantee you, a wonderful thing is going to happen. You'll make the connections. Now, just before I bring Sandy out, Savannah, I want you to come over here and sit beside this lady over here. Introduce yourself to her. This is Savannah DiMuccio. This is Jamie Lunar. Go on over and sit beside her. She's a very successful actress. I was telling her she should maybe be an actress. She's so right-brained. She's got so creative. You get to know her. Okay? There you go. You just made a connection. And Phil, you want to meet Savannah a little later. Go walk over and just say hello to her now. Come on. Come on. We'll get the producer to come to you. What the hell? Go over and say hello to her. Now, you see the way that happens? That happens every day in the marketplace. It does. You can get connected all over the world. Now, if Savannah wanted to be an actress, and she certainly would probably be a good one, she's very right-brained. That doesn't necessarily mean that she'd be a good actress because you're right-brained, but she's got a very high creative flow. She just made a couple of very, very valuable connections. Now, what's the odds of a young girl, 19, living in Toronto, to make connections like this here in California? Well, they're excellent if you're in this environment. She didn't have to be in this room to make these connections. She could have been in the marketplace and made the connection. That's the way this works. All right, let's put our hands together and bring up the woman that really knows how to reach goals, because I've watched her reach some beauties. All right? Sandy Gallagher. Come on down.